to you by Goodyear. Whether you're on the field or on the edge of your seat, Goodyear wants you to embrace the unexpected. Every upset, touchdown or fourth quarter comeback, and let it move you. No matter what the season throws your way, Goodyear is here to help drive you forward. Goodyear, more driven.
Cam got COVID, and it sort of turned their season upside down. They lose 4 in a row.
You never can count them out because a great coach comes up with a game plan that wins me football game.
They're playing the Los Angeles Rams, who know they've had their problems.
Jared Goff's 10 turnovers since Week 8 are 3 more than any other quarterback in the league.
I'm not going to dive in yet because anything can happen.
Anything can indeed happen on a short week. It's Thursday Night Football. It's the Pats and the Rams. The Pats coming off a win over the Chargers. They stayed in Southern California. They got the Rams tonight. Belichick said after the game against the Chargers on Sunday, maybe this is why Bill is Bill. You win 45-0. Time to take a deep breath? Not so much. He goes, we went right back to the hotel and watched some film because we knew we didn't have to get on a plane. He actually said this was like a home game because they didn't get back on a plane. So he just sort of felt like we're ready to go. 2 games in 4 or 5 days.
No, it's interesting how they have to plan for everything. They're in Los Angeles. Los Angeles is shut down, so that's a plus for them. He doesn't have to worry about guys doing things that they shouldn't be doing because there's nothing to do. It's a plus that they don't have to fly all the way back east and then go all the way back west on a short week. It allows them to focus in just on the Rams and get that game plan exactly like he wants it. And speaking of a game plan, He's 2-0 against Sean McVay and company in Jared Goff. Jared Goff's only completing 47% of his passes against the New England Patriots. So that game plan will certainly be in place when you look for it. It's going to be an exciting game tonight. I can't wait to watch it because last night I was just like, what am I going to do? What is the – I tried to watch something. And it's just like, oh, well, guess I go back to ID Network.
Yes.
But now tonight I'll be able to lock in on football.
We got spoiled with 2 Monday night games, a Tuesday night game. We got a Thursday night game. Let's go to the Shell Pennzoil Performance Line and welcome in Pats insider Mike Reese. We're going to talk about this, Mike, with the fellas in just a little bit. But because you're there, boots on the ground every day, what does your reporting tell you about the possibility of Cam, with his up and down season, being the Pats starter next season?
Zubin, Bill Belichick always likes to say my crystal ball is a little cloudy when we ask him questions like that. And I think that's the right answer because it's really to be determined. What I can tell you, boots on the ground, is that the Patriots have loved having Cam Newton here this year. He has come in and immersed himself in their team culture, has been a selfless leader. I think he's given nicknames to everyone from, the owner to the people serving the food to the team, which they love. And, his play has been up and down. And I think the big question as to whether he wouldn't be back is if they just feel ultimately that they need to do better in the passing game where they've been limited.
Mike, how do the Patriots feel about their playoff chances because they looked so bleak a couple weeks ago? Now we could see possible hope.
Keyshawn, one of the things that I've heard the last 2 weeks from them is that they feel like they're playing their best football of the season right now, and it's because they found their identity. The way they need to play to win games, and if they play that way, they feel like they're a very good team. And to sort of sum up that formula, it's downhill physical running game led by Cam Newton and Damian Harris. Defensively, it's opportunistic led by Stephon Gilmore, the reigning defensive player of the year, who sort of turned up his game the last couple weeks. And it's dominating on special teams. It's putting pressure on the other side in the kicking game where they're making big-time plays.
They take on the Rams tonight out in Los Angeles, as we mentioned, in Thursday Night Football. What is it that they need to do, though, that you're hearing to allow them to beat the Rams?
So, Keyshawn, start with this. Jared Goff, Zubin mentioned it just sort of entering this segment here. Put pressure on him and make him react to different things in front of him. They've had success with that in the past. So you got to start there defensively. And then offensively, you just have to score enough. This is not a potent offense. This isn't Tom Brady to Randy Moss to Wes Welker to Dante Stallworth. But if they can complement the defense by holding on to the ball, extending drives, and maybe getting some bonus points on special teams, like, where they block a field goal, return it for a touchdown, return a punt for a touchdown like they did against the Chargers. That right there is the complementary formula they need.
Mike, how likely is it that Cam Newton will be a starter next year?
That's a great question, Jay, and I think it's hard because you're widening it out to the 32-team landscape, and I think here in New England, it was clear, like, this guy, we feel like he gives us the best chance based on what we have. Now you get to the off season, you get a whole new influx of quarterbacks coming into the league in the draft. I think he's on the edge, Jay. Like, I look at it, and I'm like, if there's 32 starters in the league, I think he's more in the 25 to 35 range. So I think there will be opportunity for him there, but he might have to go compete and win a job. And how much he wants to do that, I think that'll be interesting to see.
It's a fascinating point. Mike has him pinned at 25 to 30, but just 5 years ago, he was the best player in football as the clear-cut MVP, the best player in a 15-1 team. It says a lot how fast this league moves. Mike, thank you very much. We'll look for your work tonight on ESPN.com as soon as the game ends.
Thanks for having me, guys. Have a great one.
Mike.
Thank you. That's Mike Reese. He's with the Pats 24/7, 360.
Tight ends. So when you don't have certain things, no matter who you are, and I had this conversation with the guys up in Boston the other day, and I was telling them, I said, man, if y'all had Tom Brady, if you had the great Tom Brady right now, you might be good for one more victory based on all of that stuff around you. There's nobody. Like, Jacoby Myers is their best wide receiver. An undrafted guy who worked his tail off to make the 53-man and make it somewhat of an impact on the offense. They don't have anything. And they don't have anything because they've been running the ball consistently for the last several weeks. And the coaching staff realizes we can't throw the ball, and it's just not Cam Newton. It's these guys can't separate. It's a wasted pick on N'Keal Harry, the receiver out of Arizona State, who in 2 years has done nothing. I mean, he's just a body with a number. And so when you start to look at those sort of things as a team, you're like, what gives us the best chance to win, Jay? Running the football and playing defense, much like Mike Reese said. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with it. I know we want to see him throw the ball everywhere because we're looking at Aaron Rodgers and we're looking at Drew Breeses and we're looking at Russell Wilson's and Patrick Mahomes, and we think you got to throw the ball everywhere. That's not true.
No, I'm not saying you have to throw the ball everywhere. I'm just wondering what style Bill Belichick wants to play moving forward after this year.
And then when you
that's
about
the question.
You talk about quarterbacks that could potentially be available, think about the money.
That's what I said, absorb the cost.
Think about the cost, like you said, the money, the assets that you have to give up to maybe acquire some of those guys that now has to learn the system, been in the system for a long time. Matt Ryan, Matthew Stafford, maybe Jimmy G is available to you, but do you want Jimmy G? Do you feel like that's a real option for you? You start to look at maybe there's a Jameis Winston on a one-year deal from New Orleans. Does Jameis really want to leave New Orleans to come be with you in New England when he has an opportunity in New Orleans to maybe be the guy next year instead of Taysom Hill? So you start to kind of look at the quarterbacks that could potentially be available to you next year, and is Cam Newton a better fit than those guys?
That's a big question. The financial commitment to him this year by NFL standards is paltry. Totally agree with you on N'Keal Harry. There's the old cliche, he's always hurt. The old cliche, you can't make the club in the tub. And that's one of those situations for him. He just can't get through it. Keyshawn J. Will Zubin brought to you by Straight Talk Wireless. Look, we all accidentally damage our phones. It happens. Now, Straight Talk Wireless new Platinum Unlimited plan includes phone protection, just $65 a month for unlimited talk, text, data, and more. See Mobile Protect terms and conditions at Asurion.com/Straight Talk. Limitations and exclusions apply. So that's a lot of chatter on Cam, what his short-term and long-term future might be. Long-term future, according to Key and many others, is very bright for Jared Goff. But our ESPN Rams reporter, Lindsey Theory, QB on the other sideline tonight, weighing in and evaluating kind of the up and down play, at least the last